Hello everyone, JSpeaks here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm currently here at the Contemporary Art Museum of Raleigh at a distinct event called Melanin Motion. This event is dedicated towards wellness, self-care, and the power of mindful living. This event is brought to you by Taste of Black, an organization whose mission is to give people a taste of Black culture, represent Black chefs, and celebrate Black people. I'm so happy to be here with...
So I am Michael Long, one of the many minds behind Shake Something For You, which is a craft cocktail experience where we come together to fuse fresh ingredients, dope vibes, local spirits, but then also the people is an essential piece of what we do with Shake Something.
Awesome, awesome. So Mike, where are you located?
I'm based here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Just know I travel to anywhere, so we've done curated pop-ups in Raleigh, Atlanta, DC, Houston. We have something tentatively scheduled for Nashville. So we know no boundaries, there's no limits to where we can go and where we can shake something.
Awesome. So talk about the becoming of Shake Something. How did that start?
Man,
and you can look at me.
Yeah. So like Shake Something truly started with some true friends in the Washington DC area during COVID, where we leveraged like fresh ingredients to make simple syrups. And then we were like, well, how can we fuse together these simple syrups with like a vodka or a bourbon or tequila? And then we just found ourselves chilling, making these cocktails with just us. But then we're like, we know there's a lot more people that would love to be in this environment. And then we just started doing like kickbacks with fresh ingredients, craft cocktails, dope vibes. And so then that started to grow with the amount of people that would start coming to our events. And then moving here in Raleigh, I ended up doing this as a business, right? What started as a hobby, something for fun, turned into a business opportunity where we're doing these experiences here in the Raleigh market, partnering strategically with events such as Taste of Black. Talking to creatives such as yourself, JSpeaks, to get our messaging out, but also to really show like the true heart, the ingredients of a craft cocktail is these type of connections right here. So that's how we started, man, and we're still growing. There's a lot on the horizon, and we're excited to just kind of do this for fun. It doesn't even seem like work.
So what made you choose Raleigh out of all places?
So in the day, I am a cybersecurity executive or management. So I do cybersecurity as my day job. And so what moved me down here was work. Born and raised in this area, family and friends, this is where I grew up. But I truly grew a entrepreneurial spirit in DC. And then moving back to Raleigh, I think allowed me to blossom and see that there's certain things I can take that I learned in the DC region and really bring it down here for that craft experience, and being intentional about connection and community as very much a part of what we offer with Shake Something.
Wow. So talk about some of the impact that you've already made and the impact that you plan on making with Shake Something.
Number one, I think the first impact, I have to look at myself, right? Mentally looking at mindset of like, I can do this. Why not me? But then also being able to grow a team, being able to connect with other entrepreneurs, other creatives. And I think some of the output that I've seen with the traction that we've been able to make is 712 Vodka, being able to partner with that local Black-owned vodka and being able to share their story through our experience, allowing them to see the power of you, the power of the message, the story of what we do to help propel their brand. So that, I think that's one of the biggest impacts. And then also partnering with other creatives, restaurants, candle makers, and really seeing the economic impact that can be brought through community through a craft cocktail experience.
So talk a little bit about 712 Vodka's story.
So 712 Vodka is a black-owned vodka that started in Raleigh, North Carolina, and part of their story is all about how to be a differentiator, right? How to enter into a saturated market of spirits, and then how to set ourselves apart. Let's start with the simple and the basics of you. We don't want to connect with everybody, but we want to serve in a niche such as Taste of Black, such as Shake Something, such as JSpeaks, where it starts with the individual, it starts with the creative, it starts with an idea. And that idea is what starts the journey. 712 Vodka's message is celebrate the journey. And that journey starts with an idea, but then you start gaining traction, right? You don't have to go for the big bang, you don't have to go for the grand slam, you just connect with one individual. That one individual can be that wildfire that connects with many people. And so then that puts us in these situations of being in this space, in this environment, where we don't need to connect with, we don't need to rival Tito's, we don't need to rival Ciroc. Our niche is right here in this Raleigh market, and then we can grow organically with the creatives that's here, the JSpeaks, with the videography that sits behind the camera, James, who is a pianist at heart, with Taste of Black, Jess and what she's doing. There's a lot of other souls and spirits that we just need to start with, and start local, start with home, as opposed to trying to go out. You know, we're not good in California. Let's be good here at home in North Carolina, because that's where it starts. The 50 states, the other 49 states, they'll come, but let's start with the basics right here.
I totally
and so
agree.
that essentially is the story, long and drawn out, but that's the story of 712 Vodka.
I totally
It's
agree.
really celebrating the journey of an idea to action.
So do you plan on venturing out into different states, or do you just plan on just being the best that you can possibly be within North Carolina?
What we have found is that we're definitely being the best that we can be here in North Carolina, but because we live in a global economy,
Yes.
and our friends are not just relative to here, we use those organic relationships and connections to jump out to other areas. So we have the Virginia market, we have the Atlanta market, we have the South Carolina market, we also have Houston, and we have connections in Nashville. And all of these are based upon organic connections through relationships, right? We're not going to go try to meet somebody that we don't know. We want to go with the connections that we have here, and allow those connections to be the catalyst for our growth opportunities outside of North Carolina.
I totally agree with that plan.
Thank
totally
you.
start
Thank you.
small and then venture out bigger and
Yep.
bigger as you get more comfortable.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I gotta ask, please take this opportunity to boast a little bit about some of your wins, some of your accomplishments. You seem very proud to be within the Shake Some space and the 712 Vodka space. So I'm sure you have a lot of wins that you can talk about.
One of the biggest wins is finding a team, right?
Yes.
I could not do this, and I'm gonna do this huge roll call, but Shake Some started with me just coming here, doing a pop-up event at Airbnb, but then I've been able to meet my creative director, Lynn, my creative director of mixology, Trey. I have a guy who was like security, his name is Barry, but he also helps us with some of the logistics in the behind the scene. And then we have grown to other mixologists, bartenders that help serve us. But then it's also the impact of working with Jamaican Grill of Raleigh, Hillary. She is the mastermind behind that local Jamaican restaurant, where we're able to fuse fresh ingredients of our cocktails with her cuisine. We're also able to partner with other live bands here. We have my guy CJ Baker Entertainment. We have Janae. We have other creators in this area that we've just been able to partner with to really grow an environment and experience in this area, all through craft cocktails, all through community, all through connections with 712 Vodka. And 712 Vodka, again, they are another impact win that I've been able to say we've been able to secure just in relationship building with them and helping spread their brand and the awareness of what they provide in the spirits market.
Wonderful. So there are no wins without challenges. So please take this opportunity to talk about either challenges that you overcame or challenges that you foresee coming, and how are you mentally preparing to go about that?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges is, I think, just the belief in self, right? Knowing that you can do it, we can do it, and understand it's not going to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to stumble, you're going to fail, but those are opportunities for growth. Those are learning points, and those setbacks are truly leaping grounds and leaping points for acceleration, right? The other part of a challenge that I faced is like, how do I do a business while I'm also trying to grow my career professionally? And while I love cybersecurity, I don't get as much joy and thrill out of what I've been able to do with Shake Something. And there is like this dichotomy that exists of, do I go with what provides the money, or do I go with what provides the joy? And what I tried to do to overcome that challenge of seeing things from a dollars and cents perspective is to see the value out of the joy, and how those seeds of investments will come to fruition eventually, right? It won't happen today, but just like we invest in the stock market today for a big return tomorrow, that's what I see Shake Something, right? And so I'm gonna continue to invest in myself and have that investor's mindset in my passion, in my beliefs, in my vision, as opposed to having this mindset, which is the challenge of, I gotta go to work. I gotta pay these bills. I gotta do X, Y, and Z to live like this happy life. And so I'm overcoming that with Shake Something. It's not easy. I still gotta wake up and do both. But I know the reward is gonna pay off later. And those dividends is really gonna speak volumes for my joy eventually. Today, it already is paying off, but I know the reward is gonna come.
Absolutely. You own your own voice within Shake Something. That's what it sounds
absolutely.
like.
Absolutely,
That's what it sounds
right?
like.
And finding that voice, right, it is pivotal, not just for me, but for the team and the people in my environment as well.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, that joy, that love of wanting to do something, that's going to keep you going longer than the money. I know that it doesn't seem like that now, but how do I say this? You can't fake that emotion.
You can't.
You can't. And that emotion is what gets you excited. That emotion is what gets you smiling. That emotion is what gets you to be able to talk so fluidly about what you do.
Yep.
And that's what's going to keep you going. So keep investing that time and keep investing that energy into your joy, and then over time, it will come. It will come. But we have to be intentional about pouring that water on that seed. You got to be intentional about that. Like we always say, like, oh, this pays the bills. This is what I'm doing to survive. But if you take that same mindset and you put that passion into your joy, your voice, so that it can one day pay the bills, it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
As long as you're putting positive energy into something, you know that your future is going to be positive.
And just like 712, we got to celebrate the journey. We got to take time to understand it's a process.
Yes.
And it's not going to be immediate.
Absolutely.
Right? Yep.
Absolutely. Success is a journey, not a destination.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. So now I want you to be in control of your next question.
Oh, man.
So I have a couple questions here. So you could just pick at these one of the no cards that you want to answer.
All right.
And read it out loud. Read it out loud.
So is true happiness something we chase, or is something we uncover within ourselves? True happiness is definitely something that we uncover within ourselves, right? We don't want to, what I have found and what has resonated with me in my journey is, man, if we're going to be out there chasing happiness, that will be a never-ending race. That will be a marathon that we will continuously get tired of if we don't truly stop and look at, what does happiness mean to me? How is happiness What is it that I find that happiness from, and what gives me that self internally, right? And then it will make everything clear externally, right? So let's look within ourselves to uncover that true joy. Because once we uncover it, right, that will be that endless supply of what we need and what we seek. And that will drive our purpose as well. So look inside, not externally. Don't chase.
Absolutely. Like I like to say it, or how I describe it, if we're chasing anything, it's not meant for us.
Right.
That's the reason why it's distancing itself from us, because it's not meant for us.
Yep.
And it's exhausting. Whenever you have
so.
to chase anything, it's exhausting. So totally agree with what you're saying. Well, Mike, I truly hope and pray for prosperity, abundance, and just that same joy, that same love. It's never ending, unwavering, and that it sees you to put you into rooms that you've never imagined, that you will prosper in, and that you will brand Shake Some and 712 Vodka the way that it's supposed to. So thank you so much.
Hey man, that same prayer, that same affirmation goes back to you. Reciprocity. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep speaking in volumes. Believe in yourself, man. And we're going to make it, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.